Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we're focusing on those of you that are about to start your teacher training. So if that is you, then good luck on your journey. Do please let me know in the comments how you are doing, if you've started your journey already, and if you're just about to get started, let me know where it is you're going to go do your training. I did mine in Hull University and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a great time, and so yeah, I'd just love to hear about you guys and what your plans are. If you've got any questions, then please let me know. We're going to help you out, guys, on your interview process today, and that is your interview for your teacher training. So not necessarily what you're going to do in your interview when you become a teacher, but what you're going to focus on when you're trying to get onto your training course and you have to go to the interview and get accepted onto the course and get given kind of an offer for a university. That might be a graded offer with like A's and B's, or nowadays it's numbers, isn't it? 1s, 2s, or 8s, 9s, I don't know. And then obviously you might even get an unconditional offer, which would be fantastic if you do, and well done on getting onto the course. So yeah, we're going to go through these questions. I'm going to start off with the one that seems like the most simple question, but actually can be quite a tricky one, and that is a question of why do you want to be a teacher? Okay, and you've got to think about specifically for you, why are you going to be a teacher? And it's important there to talk about specifics. All right, it's talking about why is it that you want to be a teacher, not why do people want to be teachers. Everyone on the course or everyone applying for the course wants to be a teacher. That's why they're doing teacher training. But what is it specifically for you that makes you want to be a teacher? Okay, avoid broad generalizations, avoid swiping everything and saying, oh yeah, well, I really want to work hard, I really want to help children. What is it about your experience in schools that made you want to be a teacher? What is it about your experience when you went back to school to obviously do a bit of work experience? What was it specific that made you want to be a teacher? Highlight the experience you've had, highlight what you've done in schools, highlight where you worked, what impacts you had, and also talk about some of the challenges. Okay, you want to be a teacher because you want to be challenged, you want to work hard, you want to improve something. Okay, there are lots and lots of challenges about being a teacher, and it's important to show that you're aware of these as well. You're not just there for an easy ride. But yeah, go into specifics about you. What is it about you? Why do you want to be a teacher? Make sure you're not just generalizing everything based on, oh well, I've heard teaching's a fun career and lots of people are nice teachers and so I want to be a teacher. It's not going to work very well. You need to go into specifics for you. Next up, one of the questions they might say is, why are you applying to this particular course? Why are you wanting to come and do university training at this university? Why on this course? Why here? Why now? That kind of thing. And here you can talk about what the course offers. So this is where you're going to show that you've done your research, you know why you're applying to the course, you know what the course is going to offer you, you know why it might work for you, and tell them that. Tell them why you think you're looking forward to it. Okay, what is your reputation of the university? What does the course do specifically that's important for you? For me, when I applied to university, I applied to a course at Hull Uni, and I did it specifically because there weren't any exams. And now that was something that I knew played to my strengths. And I said, actually, I think I'm going to really work well with this course. It's going to work well with me. I know that I'm really good at doing coursework and doing essays and presenting things. And that's what all the assessment was based on. And it was something that, you know, there were no exams at the end of term you had to pass to get through. That was something I was never particularly, well, I was all right at doing them, but I never really enjoyed them. And so I openly said that. I said, look, this is why I'm here. This is what I want to do. I want to be on this course because it works for me. And then I'll obviously work well for you guys. And it must have worked because I ended up getting accepted onto the course. But that was, you know, that was specific to me. Again, I made sure that it was because I knew what I'd done my research. I'd found out what the course offered. I'd said, yeah, that works with me. I'm going to work well on that course. And I said that. And that was why I applied here at that university. So make sure you've done your research about the course. And once you know what it is that you're kind of really going to focus on, then make sure you tell them that when they ask why you're applying there. Because you're going to get lots and lots of people that are applying to that university for all sorts of reasons. And as always, you want to make your answers stand out. You want to make them stick in their memory. So when they go over and work out who they are actually giving the places to, you're the ones that sat there with the right in the front of the memory saying, oh yeah, they look like they were really eager, really keen, they'd done the research, they knew what they wanted, and they're really going to go get it and pass this course really well. They're also going to ask you about your classroom experience. So they're going to want to know what you did on your experience, what you learned, how you used that, what practices did you do, and they're really going to want to know some details about what you've done, and specifically about how you did it, what kind of things you put into place, what impact it had on the children. So make sure you're ready with some specific examples of what went on. Okay, they're not just asking to hear, you know, oh yeah, I did a week in year 3, I did a week in year 4, and then I helped out for a little bit in year 6, and that it was great, I had fun. They want to know specifically what you did. So while you're in year 3, what were you working on? Did you do any intervention groups? Did you work with any specific groups of children? If you did work with anyone, then over that week, did they make any progress? Were you working with them on their reading? And at the end of the week, they'd kind of learned a few more words to say, they'd pronounced a few more words correctly. Had they, at the end of the year 6 block, had they done some extra work in maths that you were working with them on and they'd made progress there? What type of things was it specifically you were doing, and how did it impact on the children? This is beginning to get an idea on whether or not you're kind of holding responsibility for what you're doing, making sure that you can kind of take control of a small group of children and work with them, and making sure that you kind of enjoy that you can reflect on your practice. Lots of learning how to be a teacher is about doing something, reflecting on whether it worked or whether it didn't, and then improving on it either way, because there's always things to improve on. So make sure that you can kind of say specifically what you did, what you worked on, how you did it, and the impact it had on the children, and as well as you. What did you learn while doing it? What things have you picked up? What little tips did the teachers give you that you're going to say, oh yeah, and I learned how to do this, so I was really good at doing that, I enjoyed doing this. It's all just good ideas to give specific details for you, again, rather than generalizing everything. When they ask about what qualities you have that will make you be a good teacher, you need to make sure that you've done your research here again, because somewhere on the application page for the university course, that kind of thing, they're going to say what they're looking for in a student applying to the course, and this is where you're going to have to match up and make sure you're showing that you've got all those skills. So if they've asked for people that are confident or that are active, that are engaged, then make sure you're showing that you've got all those qualities in you, okay? You might talk about being patient and say, look, I'm a very patient person, I've done this, this and this, and you know, that shows that I'm showing that I'm patient. You might be saying that you're very confident if they've asked for that on their application, and say I'm a confident person, I went into a class I've never been taught before and I got given a lesson plan and I just had to go at doing it when I was on experience. I did my best, I reflected on what went well, what went wrong with the teacher, and just make sure you're really bigging yourself up, okay? It's not the time to be shy, it's not the time to be modern and say, oh, well, you know, I'm hoping I'll be all right, I'm not really sure. This is the time to go for it, to shine, okay? To show everyone how good you are, the amazing things you're going to be doing when you get into practice. The next question is they're going to want to know about a lesson that you have taught. They're going to want, well, probably about 2 lessons that you've taught. They're going to want to know one lesson that's gone really well and one lesson that's not gone well, and why both the cases happened, what happened in each lesson. So if we start off with a lesson that's gone really well, then you can, again, show off how amazing you are and tell them about a lesson that went really well. So, well, why it went well from your point of view. So what happened that meant you thought it went well? What happened that meant it showed in the kids' work that it went well? What did they really understand? What did they do that showed that they could do it? Did they really kind of struggle over it before, then all of a sudden had a kind of light bulb moment and they got through it? Were the working behaviours really good? Was the presentation in the books really good? Just show off about why that lesson was amazing for you, for the children, and then make sure that you add in a little quote or something from a mentor or someone, that the teacher that was in the classroom at the time, to show that it wasn't just in your opinion it went well, they said it went really well too. And then obviously that's a bit of someone who's a bit more experienced than you guys saying it went well too. So yeah, make sure you're showing off how amazing you are, and then move on to the lesson that maybe didn't go so well and why did that not happen. Now guys, lessons don't go well sometimes, okay? It happens all the time. For every teacher, there's just the odd day where, you know what, you've taught a lesson, it's just not gone to plan, something's gone wrong. Now, you can talk about maybe you hadn't foreseen a problem in the experiment you were doing, maybe you hadn't realised that the children hadn't quite understood something, maybe there was a bit of prior knowledge that was missing, and so the lesson you were doing was a bit too hard for the children. There's all sorts of reasons why lessons can go wrong, and the fact is they're not worried about the fact it's gone wrong. It's not going to be a negative that it's gone wrong, because it happens to teachers all the time. What they're looking for is how you responded to it, okay? They're going to want to hear you saying, it went wrong because of this, but I understood that, and in the lesson I improvised and I managed to make it work by doing this, and then the next lesson I had time to reflect, to look back on what had happened, and then I adjusted my next lesson to make sure I filled in the gaps that we were missing, and then we got on with where we should be. And so you're reflecting on what's happened, you're looking back at what's gone wrong, you're responding to the children, to what they're saying, to what they're learning about, and you're fixing the gaps that are missing in children's knowledge. So yeah, do not worry about the fact that you've made a mistake, the fact that something's gone wrong. That's not a negative. It will be a negative if you stood up and go, no, nothing's ever gone wrong, I'm amazing, I've never had a problem. The fact is you need to show that, yeah, something has gone wrong, that's all right, but you're going to work on it and you have fixed it, and then you moved on, and then we got even better, and you're learning from your mistake. So it's really important to show that you're reflecting on your work and reflecting on the lessons that you've taught. The final question we're going to go into on this little video about your teacher training interviews is about safeguarding, and they're going to say, tell me about a reason or an incident where you've dealt with a safeguarding incident at school. And so here it's just important to make sure that you're showing that you're following the safeguarding policy in school, and whatever the safeguarding policy is, you're going to say that you followed it, because hopefully you did at the time, okay? Now, generally the safeguarding policy at school is that if you're not a class teacher, you'd report the incident to the class teacher, and then they would either then deal with it and write up an incident report, or they'd pass it on to the safeguarding lead at school, which is generally the head teacher. There are some larger schools, they have a kind of separate safeguarding lead who deals with it themselves. But yeah, it's just really important to mention here that you follow the safeguarding policy and you dealt with it responsibly. And you don't have to go into too much detail. If it is an incident that happened that is obviously confidential, then, you know, don't mention any names, don't mention anything that you shouldn't be mentioning. It's just important to say that, yeah, I followed the policy, this happened, and I went to the class teacher, I spoke to the class teacher about it, and I know then the class teacher spoke to the head teacher, who's also the safeguarding lead, and they dealt with the incident in the way that it should have been dealt with, and they might have had to speak to the child, they might have to speak to some other children. There's all sorts of different reasons and incidents that can happen that fall under the banner of safeguarding. It's a massive thing, but it's generally all about just keeping the children safe, keeping the safe environment in the school, keeping the teachers safe. And that's the thing, it can be a safeguard incident to do with children, to do with teachers, to do with things happening online, to do with things happening on the playground. It can be all sorts of things. But make sure you're talking about the policy that you followed. What was the policy? What did you do to make sure you were following it? And how do you know what the policy was? You know, make sure you say that I got the policy off the website, and I make sure I'd read it before I started my placement, so I knew what to do in case it happened. And when it did happen, then this is what I did. If you've never had to deal with a safeguarding incident, then by all means say that, and say, I've never had to deal with one myself. However, if the incident did arise that I had to deal with one, then this is what I would do. And then again, follow the same answer. I'd follow the safeguarding policy, I'd report it to the class teacher, and so on and so forth. So yeah, this has been another quick one, guys. Hopefully it's been a bit of help. As always, thank you so much for all the support, the comments, the likes, the subscribing, and generally just asking questions, telling me how your days are, because I'm really interested in everything you guys are doing here, hoping you guys are all doing really well on your training courses. And as always, any questions, please let me know. There'll be a new video on a Tuesday, a Friday, and a Sunday. And as always, I'll see you very soon.